What is up, Justin? Happy Tuesday. How you doing, my man?
I'm feeling great, brother. It is Tuesday. It is Taco Ball Tuesday, and it is game one of the NBA Finals. Tipping off in about 40 minutes.
We made it. We made it.
We
This is
have
our
made it.
13th episode. Can you believe that?
Uh,
All building
yeah,
up to
I
this
can.
moment.
I can believe that.
Well, yeah, but what's that hat you're wearing there? I
We are
don't
on
see
the
LeBron in these finals.
2016 NBA champs, greatest finals of all time, greatest individual performance in any finals ever. LeBron James. Got to feel good in the gear for game one tonight, baby.
You're repping the wrong team. Did you know, Justin, this is the first time since 1998 the finals will be played without LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, or Dwayne Wade? Isn't that crazy?
6 guys since 98. Over 20 years. 6 guys have carried the NBA finals.
Yep.
Time for some new blood.
This is a new era. And before we talk about the finals, let's hit on how these two teams got here. So let's recap some of the last few games for Bucks Hawks or Hawks
Bucks.
Bucks
Bucks Hawks. What?
The Bucks series.
Yes.
And then the last few games of the Suns Clippers. And I think
let's get to it.
I think the first place we got to start that could be the difference maker in the finals is what happened in Game 4 to Giannis Antetokounmpo coming down awkwardly on that knee.
Oh, I'm not going to get that out of my head for a long time. That was a hard one to watch. I'm thinking about the last time one got stuck in my head for a long time, and it was the Gordon Hayward opening night Celtics Cavs. Just like, makes you feel kind of sick. So, yeah, that looked real nasty. I was shocked he was able to walk under his own power.
Yep.
I thought for sure something had torn in there because the hyperextension was just so far. But he didn't play and the next couple games, and the rest of his teammates picked up the slack. They said, Giannis has been carrying us for years. Let's carry him 2 more games, give him some rest, see if we can't make it to the finals and get him back. So I guess he's doubtful for tonight. We'll talk about that as we get closer to that series. But what did you see from some of the other guys in Giannis's absence?
I mean, for me, it was the Drew Holiday show. And he, I think, got some criticism towards the beginning of the series, but he freaking stepped it up and helped carry a significant load as the series went on. He was playing incredible defense, knocking down shots, like covering multiple guys. And to me, it really showed and validated like the amount of effort and just money they put into acquiring him. Absolute two-way player. I think probably the most solid, wing defender, probably one of the most solid two-way players out of any teams that made the playoffs. So,
yeah, I mean, I can't think of a team in the playoff that has, 2 solid two-way players, best wing defenders in the league. Yeah, still left in the playoffs. I guess if you had more of those guys, maybe you would win more, but I don't know.
A little bit of luck, little bit of injuries changes the equation. So,
yes, Mr. I'm not going to be negative tonight. And the first excuse I hear is, maybe a couple injuries and things would be a little different.
No negativity. And here's something else okay. Since we're going down this rabbit trail, let's talk about injuries, Justin, because there's two narratives that I just want to shut down because I don't appreciate them. They're not constructive, they're divisive, and they're full of hate. Number one is, these two teams got here, the Bucks and the Suns got here, especially the Suns. Oh, just because they're playing injured teams that were missing key players. That's part of the game. Like that is bound to happen, and sometimes it's pure luck. The second part of the hate.
I mean, Golden State won a championship and they had 4 straight rounds while the opposing team's starting point guard was hurt and out. So I mean,
Zaza Pachulia to Kawhi. I mean, injuries are part of the game. But the second piece I want to get into is this narrative that this shortened season is contributing to more injuries, and if we had a normal season, we would be having a better overall product because these injuries wouldn't be happening. I don't buy that for a second. The players in the league knew what they were getting into with this shortened season, and they came to an agreement and said, let's make it happen. They knew of the risks, and to me it's I don't buy this.
You definitely don't get to blame the league, and you have a players union that reps you, and you all agreed to the circumstances, so there's no complaining on the players' part that's acceptable. I do, however, think the shortened season, the quicker turnaround from last year, and the less time off in between games this year has contributed to those factors, but they agreed to it, so that's tough on them. Some of the injuries, though, aren't happening because of that. Like LeBron's ankle didn't get busted because he was playing on back-to-back nights and whatever. It got busted because somebody dove and landed on his ankle. Snap. So I mean, stuff's going to happen. How many times has Chris Paul come up hurt in the playoffs and not be able to carry on? And now here he is. Maybe he's benefited from a couple guys getting hurt, but I think it's hard to argue now. Well, I mean, I can't do that with a straight face, but it's it's hard to argue now that the Phoenix Suns aren't the best team out west. I mean, they didn't get outplayed by the Clippers in 6 games and lost just 2 of them. So I don't buy that. But
negativity is behind us.
The Bucks are in the finals, and Giannis hyperextended his knee in a series that was tied 2-2. So anything could have happened.
Yeah, we could still have injuries on the Suns. Chris Paul may not play this entire series. Who knows? But we also had a couple games in Suns Clippers that led us to the Suns punching their first ticket in the finals, and who knows how long since
1993 with Sir Charles Barkley.
So game 5, we've got playoff P showing up, dropping dimes, dropping buckets. The Clippers were looking like a well-oiled machine. We've got memes circulating going, whatever happened to Suns in 4, suddenly Clippers in 7. There was like this thought that, hey, the Clippers might just do this again. And then the entire Suns squad comes out and just chokes the Clippers out in game 6. What did you enjoy the most about that game?
What I enjoyed most about that game was the Clippers not winning. Was way off P, back from the dead, the flip-flopper. The Pat Beverly troll getting totally out-trolled by CP3.
Like each other.
Like the game within the game, the mind games, just getting under their skin and just irritating the crap out of them. And for a team that talks as much trash as the Clippers to get sent home back-to-back years has been rather delightful on my end. But as a fan to watch that happen. So CP3 just totally dominated that game. What did he go for? 41 points. Just
went ballistic with 31 of those coming.
Completely turned back the clock. what more is there to say on that series? You got thoughts?
I think just two quick things. I love seeing how Chris Paul was in the head of every Clippers player. I mean, from like DeMarcus Cousins that like inbounds with the elbow, and then that acting job, like he knew exactly what he was doing. Say what you will, but that man was owning every other player on that court. Even his teammates were just like, "Yo, this guy has got it all," and he is leading our squad right now. He took over that game, and anytime the Clippers, I want to say it was like in the third quarter, they had a little bit of a run where they brought it maybe within single digits. And then, it was like three-pointer. It just, they put that game away. So, yeah, how they took over the game, and you got some
quick breaking news. Players entered into the arena to prep for the game tonight. They just showed them walking in.
Okay.
And CP3 is wearing a solid Bucks green hoodie. Like it is like the exact color of the Bucks. Solid hoodie, solid green hoodie for it looks just like a Bucks. And then Giannis was coming in. Giannis was coming in with a sleeve on his leg. It didn't say he was out. I don't know.
Well, he's questionable. That's
probable, doubtful, upgraded to somethingable. But then maybe it's just me, but it certainly looked like Devin Booker was walking in with some type of limp. I mean, he was in an all black suit with black dress shoes. Maybe just because he's never worn dress shoes before. I don't know. But he looked like he was limping more than Giannis. So maybe he just has a weird stride and I never noticed it before. But anyways,
maybe he's doing like the whole Phantom of the Opera, like his mask, and he's got a cape on, like creeping in. Maybe he's just embracing that persona now.
So I know we're getting to our finals preview here. We're going to start talking about these individual matchups, the players, things like that. I do want to talk for a minute about Devin Booker.
Hold up. One more thing about Suns Clippers. I said I had two things. Second thing that I just want to take a moment to appreciate was the complete like flow of emotion after that series. I love seeing Monty Williams embracing his guys, Chris Paul like almost on the verge of tears, and just how much that squad, they were like, yo, we have each other's backs. And then you had Reggie Jackson for the Clippers after the game, given tons of respect for his teammates for coming through a really tough year, one of his darkest years. And he at one point was actually considering not playing basketball anymore. And so his squad really stepped in, and that man is going to get paid in this offseason too. So I just loved, those are the moments for me that really keep me captivated and have me, following a lot of these storylines. That
there it is. Waj bomb. Giannis Antetokounmpo will play tonight.
No.
Game 1. He's on the floor warming up, taking shots, baby.
No.
I thought that he would probably sit at least game 1.
Yeah, maybe game 2.
Yeah, maybe game 2, because you say home court advantage. You're playing the Suns. You're not going to win 4 straight. You're not going to sweep this series. So see what your guys do. Give him a shot to get out there. Give him 2 more extra days of rest. If you lose the first one, he comes back and plays the second. Maybe you earn a split. If you win the first one, rest him again in the second. You still come home with a split. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Giannis, what has he got?
Yeah, I mean, so we're previewing the finals now. We're getting hyped for this matchup, and to me, that's piece 1. That's the biggest question mark in the series: is how is that knee going to hold up? I'm honestly shocked that he is going to play in game 1. To me, this is a high risk, low reward move. And to me, this is a sign of desperation that they're saying, we don't we don't trust our squad without Giannis will win, or, we're going to get the snot kicked out of us. Like, to me, there's just so much risk. I think about KD when he came back in the finals, and that same game, he had that injury that put him out for the rest of the series. Like Klay Thompson, same thing. So
Yeah.
I just, to me, that was when I saw that injury, I thought that was torn ACL, MCL. And to me, it just seems like this is a risky move. I'm not a fan. I say hold him out. Yeah, 2 games. Let him come in 100% when he's ready. Just, it seems like this is the only 2 plausible theories are it really wasn't that bad to begin with, which I think is highly unlikely, seeing how much that knee bended.
Stop. Oh my gosh. I just want to stop talking about it. But now I'm worried I'm going to be watching tonight and it's going to be just a gruesome looking injury because I'm with you 100% on this for the most part here. So I agree.
And it will be really interesting to see in this game how aggressive he is inside. Does he settle for a lot more of those mid-range jumpers or 3-point shots, or is he really trying to punish them inside and continue to be really aggressive? So I see him settling for a lot more of those outside shots. Maybe that's the game plan. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. We'll see. You seem a little unsure about this whole.
Yeah, I know.
So let's preview some matchups here. Let's hit on some of these key matchups, because we've got, to me, on one side in this Phoenix squad, we've got the new kids on the block. We've got the new era. We've got the folks, some of these players that are in the finals, in the playoffs for the first time, mixed with some guys that are here for, they've made deep playoff runs before. And then on the other side, this Bucks squad, we've got Giannis. To me, it's Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday against the world. So which matchup do you think is going to be the most hype to watch this series?
I see how you have it set up, just position for position. I think there's actually going to be a lot more switching going on. One, because Phoenix will switch a ton with pick and rolls, but the Bucks have the defenders to switch. So if Giannis is healthy, one thing I want to see is I want to see some Giannis and Ayton down low in the post. Am I looking forward to Giannis being guarded by Jay Crowder? No, never. Like, not in a million years do I just like, oh, I can't wait to see what Jay Crowder does on Giannis tonight. Like, miss me with that. I love the idea of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and I'm going to throw in PJ Tucker, essentially taking the rotation of guarding Chris Paul and Devin Booker, because I think we're going to see PJ Tucker switching a lot off of Michael Bridges. And I even expect to see PJ Tucker getting in Ayton's space and bodying him up and making him work for it. But
covering someone that's 2 feet taller.
Yes, he did that with Houston, right? When they sent Capella to Atlanta, and PJ Tucker was all of a sudden the 5, and you're like, this is never going to work. And it sort of worked, but then it didn't.
That was like a small ball. I mean, that was the extreme small ball lineup.
I get that. I'm just saying, what I'm looking forward to is Holiday, Middleton, Tucker versus Paul and Booker. Like, those guard matchups, which is crazy because you're like, well, Giannis, back-to-back MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, I don't know. If he's 100% healthy, I have no idea who on their team is covering him. I mean, that's like, they bring in Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala are the LeBron stoppers, but they held him to 35 points and 10 rebounds and 8 assists on like 57% shooting. There's no
drop to triple double.
So yeah, you can make somebody uncomfortable, but I don't see anybody on their team being able to slow down Giannis, especially if he's, 90% plus. So looking at him and looking at that, that's something I want to see. I think the Bucks have the defenders to really make those guards uncomfortable, though. I think Chris Paul will be less bothered by it, and here's why I think Booker will be more bothered by it. I wanted to take a look at his stats from the Western Conference Finals, right? So game 1, 40 points on 15 of 29 shooting, above 50%. Awesome. All right. Then everyone kept talking, oh, Booker, Booker, Booker. Okay, that's all I heard. Everyone's on the Book train, right? Okay. Well, I don't think he's really been hot since probably the middle of the second round. All right. He went game 2, 20 points on 5 of 16 shooting. Woof. Game 3, 15 points on 5 of 21 shooting. Yikes. All right. 25 points on 8 of 22. Ooh, getting better. All right. 31 points on 9 of 22. So we're making one more basket. All right. That was his next best game. 22 points in the closeout game on 10 of 26. So nowhere near 50%. Some games like 30%. I mean, he got really inconsistent. He's getting to the foul line, but his shot isn't falling. And I think for them to exceed, he needs to play like he did in round 1 against the Lakers, where his shot is falling from everywhere, where he comes out and he's like, the first half, he's like 8 of 11 for whatever it is. Like, really just shows them early on that he's locked in. And then you have to commit so much help to try and stop him because he's on fire that everybody else gets going. The Chris Paul Ayton pick and roll gets going. So I don't know. I'm going to be looking at Devin Booker for the first few games to see if he's got a little more consistency, if he's got his rhythm and his jumper back. Maybe he's been thrown off with his injuries, getting headbutted, getting hounded by Pat Beverly, guarded by Paul George, guys, wings with a little more size. Not Pat Beverly because he's smaller than me, but.
So, you make me think of the way I'm looking at these two squads is which unit do I see as having a more complete offense and which unit do I see as having a more complete defense? And what I think the Suns really have going for them offensively is they can afford to have those nights that Devin Booker is not shooting that effectively and other guys have stepped up and contributed and compensated for that. Whereas, I mean, we saw the Clippers, like when Paul George was off, they weren't winning. They you might have, I mean, Reggie Jackson might score some points. You had Marcus Morris.
The Marcus Morris game.
But they were dead in the water when he was off. And to me, this Suns offense, they have more complete offensive weapons, I think. Like the Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton pick and roll is dangerous. Jay Crowder's shooting well from 3. If I just look at their starting 5, to me, I'm going with the Suns offense. But when I look at the Bucks defense, when I look at this Bucks starting 5 with a healthy Giannis, so that's a big asterisk here, a healthy Giannis, to me, they're a more complete defensive team. But I still think the Bucks offense is a little suspect. I'm not fully sold on the Bucks offensive end.
No, but having to play without Giannis has forced some guys to step up and play in a way that they hadn't been playing before and like carry the team. So if Giannis is limited in what he can do offensively, do they put him down low in the post? Do they let Holiday and Middleton continue to be aggressive? Like, do they continue to step up and take on that offensive workload? Because that's what we saw without Giannis, was Holiday and Middleton just like torching people. So even if Giannis is fully good to go on offense, does Holiday continue that? Middleton had been inconsistent at times. I think the Duchess of Milwaukee is stepping up and taking his spot. So I'm a little bit higher on the Bucks offense than you are. But yeah, a lot of this is predicated on health. But heck, he's playing game one. That means the doctors cleared him. That means he's healthy enough to go.
That means he's felt confident in his own ability to compete at the level he needs to. So we'll see if that's a mistake. I did want to hit one matchup that I am very curious to follow for the Bucks. To me, that's Brook Lopez. Like, to me, the Bucks have with Giannis, like, they can go big. I think they have more size at the 4 and 5 position that they could create mismatches against DeAndre Ayton. Like, if he gets in foul trouble, if they go after him, who's their next center? Who's guarding the Bucks big? Dario Saric. He plays pretty high energy, but for that to be my go-to sub for DeAndre Ayton, that is one kind of gaping hole that I see for the Bucks for the Suns that I'd love to see the Bucks find a way to exploit. So
yeah, I don't know. It's weird because Giannis went out and all of a sudden Brook Lopez remembered where the post was, which makes me a little suspicious. Like, when Giannis is in, why is Brook Lopez posted in the corner? Is it because they want more space for Giannis to be able to drive the lane? Like, Giannis isn't playing in the low post. Why don't you have a low post presence? Throw it into a big guy. Giannis can pass the ball. Pass it to Brook Lopez in the post. Like, if you're both on the court at the same time, like, oh, well, we're going to take the LeBron approach and just surround him with only shooters. Okay, well, this guy's like 7'2". Maybe you should use his skill set that's valuable and not try and diminish him by throwing him in a corner.
No,
like,
but
I don't remember Zydrunas Ilgauskas ever playing in the corner. I also don't remember them ever winning anything with Zydrunas Ilgauskas, but I don't remember him posting up in the corner, jacking up threes.
Well, hey, but that I don't think Big Z was much of a 3-point shooter, and Brook Lopez, he can shoot the 3. Like, he's got a good touch. So I think that
anybody can shoot the 3, but
he could hit.
This is where like the analytics bugs me. Like, oh, well, 3's more than 2, so
don't bring up analytics on
3's points is more than 2, so you got to shoot more 3s, blah blah blah. Okay, well, Brook Lopez's percentage on shooting 2s down in the paint is got to be way higher than his percentage shooting corner 3s. Like, just enough. Like, I want the highest percentage shot, not which shot could get me more points. Like,
yeah. No.
I want him taking advantage of size. I want them going at Ayton, getting him in foul trouble because I don't think they have size coming off the bench. I want Holiday and Middleton to be aggressive. Essentially, Giannis can be more passive because they let these other guys get those guys in foul trouble. And then Milwaukee for Budenholzer. Like, this team could win the championship, and I still think this guy should be fired because he is just criminal. Like, they thought Jason Kidd wasted the best years of Giannis, like, early on. Like, this guy is just, where are your pick and rolls? Where are you switching your matchups? Where are you targeting their weak defenders? Where are you targeting their best players and getting them into foul trouble? I feel like he just never has anything set on offense other than, well, I got guys posted up around the 3-point line, and Giannis is going to stutter step, go one step back, and then try and lunge towards the lane. Stop it. Call some plays. Run some basketball plays.
But some of that is more, I think, the talent and personnel he's working with. Because I think we have seen, especially in this playoff series, that Milwaukee lives and dies by the three. And you can tell the times when Giannis would much rather settle for a contested fadeaway mid-range shot when he's covered one-on-one by James Harden. Like, to me, they could drop all sorts of plays, but I think these Bucks players, like, they settle for a lot of contested mid-range shots. They settle for a lot of contested threes. Like, they live and die by the three. I mean, game 4, Milwaukee shot 8 of 39 from 3-point range. So was that like the Hawks, stellar defense forcing them into those shots? To me, that was the Bucks squad saying, no, we're going to shoot threes. Let's take these outside shots.
All right, let's give me. All right, we've talked about the Baja Blast breakthrough player. All right, somebody you didn't know who now is a household name because of the run that they've made, and I think that for sure is going to DeAndre Ayton. But give me a guy coming off the bench for each team you think is going to make the biggest impact.
So coming off the bench, for me, for the Suns, I'm taking Cameron Payne. I'm taking, there's gonna be some heat check moments for Chris Paul. He's gonna be in the heat of the moment, or he's gonna be showing his age a little bit as the series move on. I'm looking to Cameron Payne, high energy. He's got some of those like silky reverse layup. He just found so many nifty ways to get to the basket.
Is he this year's Tyler Hero?
Or Duncan Robinson? Who knows? So I'm looking to Cameron Payne. He's on his own little. Chris Paul's on his biggest redemption tour, of course, the point guard himself. But I think Cameron Payne's on a little redemption tour as well. He was coming from OKC as well. So I'm looking at Cameron Payne for the Suns. And then for me on the Bucks side, I mean, it's a toss up here. I'm going PJ Tucker. My man, he played in Houston. He's got that same like troll mentality that Patrick Beverley brought. He shares a lot in common with Chris Paul, just kind of maniacal, get under your skin, up in KD's face. So I think he's not going to back down. He's going to be protecting these guys when things get chippy out there. He's going to be right in the middle of it all. And I think he's gonna be able to cover a lot of. He's going to be able to cover multiple positions. So he's going to be one of my impact players. I think he's been overlooked and not really appreciated for a lot of his impact he's had on the defensive end primarily. But he was knocking down some big shots, big threes towards the end of the last couple of games for the Bucks. So going PJ Tucker. How about you?
I think if we're talking bench guys coming off the bench and making an impact, I'm going to go with Cam Johnson. I really enjoyed watching his game in that Clippers series, getting to see more of him. That's a guy who I haven't watched a lot of, and a lot of people might not have heard of, but he is one to watch. I think he's got a pretty good game, and I'm excited to see some of his minutes coming off the bench. I'm wondering if these bench rotations are going to get shortened at all now that we're down to the end. I don't know. I feel like some of these guys are still going to be getting some play, but the finals does crazy things to you. Coaches will forget about players, and they just get eliminated. You're like, oh, did not play coach's decision. You're like, what? They just played like 26 minutes the other night and had like 17 points and 12 rebounds. So I don't know. We'll see who gets playing time. My guy for the Bucks, well, obviously the most impact coming off of the Bucks bench is coming from Thanasis Antetokounmpo because he is the league's best hype man. But I think if we're talking in-game impact,
Yeah.
tangible impact that you can see on the stat sheet. I'm going with Bobby Portis.
Okay.
There's something where when he's in the starting lineup instead of Giannis, when he's with those other 4 starters, Holiday, Middleton, Tucker, and Lopez, they they've outscored opponents by 37 points or something like that in the playoffs. So I guess a lot of that came against the Hawks, but I'm thinking Bobby Portis has a very impactful finals coming off the bench, and perhaps maybe getting thrown into a starting role should injury return. But
he's for sure going to be seeing a lot more playing time. I feel like they probably practiced with him in the starting lineup, not knowing
fair
Giannis's the state of his knee. So regardless, he's going to be playing a ton of time, and he brought the energy, he brought the effort in the games that he played in Giannis's absence. So we'll have to see if the Bucks can continue to win without Giannis.
Well, before we wrap things up here for the finals preview, let's get down to the predictions. Who you got? How many games?
It's
who is your finals MVP?
It is I don't know about you, Justin, but it just got really hot in here. I'm feeling a little heat. I'm feeling a little sun in here. I'm going Phoenix. I'm going
Phoenix fire. The Diablo sauce matchup has got us hot, heated.
This is gonna be a great series. I'm going Phoenix because I believe I am on the Chris Paul hype train. I believe in the point god. I want to see this man win a ring. I want to see Devin Booker go absolutely nuts. I'm going Suns in 6 games. I'm taking the Suns, and my most valuable player will be Devin Booker.
Devin Booker, finals MVP over the guy that you just hyped up being on the hype train, the point god. He's finally going to do it.
Here's the caveat I need to offer, because sometimes there's the actual stats impact MVP, and then there's the popularity MVP. So to me, if the Suns win this series convincingly, Chris Paul will be the MVP, almost regardless of whatever stats he posts. I feel like he could have the worst series and he's still going to win the MVP.
He could get injured in game 2 and the Suns could win and they'd still give him the MVP.
And they would still,
well, he was coaching from the bench and he
led the squad.
rah.
Yeah. And that's, I will still celebrate it. I will still welcome, Chris Paul's MVP. But if I'm going from who I think will have the most important, most impactful dent on this series to lead to the Suns' victory, it's going to be Devin Booker.
All right.
Who you got?
I'm taking the Bucks.
No. Boo. No. Why? I don't believe you.
So it's weird because you can come at it from both sides, and I can make the same argument as to why I should take the Suns as why I'm taking the Bucks. But especially with the storyline of Chris Paul and finally getting there, it's his time. I feel like the Bucks don't get through Brooklyn in that crazy series, being down 0-2, then losing game 5, and then getting overtime in game 7 and finding a way to pull it out and not end up becoming the champion this year. So I think Giannis gets it done. He's back. He's healthy. He's going to play. All right. I think he's going to most likely get the finals MVP. All right. Just like you said, storylines, this and that. I think the guy who has a chance to be the most impactful for them the guy who everything sort of hinges on for them is what Drew Holiday shows up. Is he going to be aggressive on the offensive end? Because if he's not, I think you know mostly what you're going to get out of Chris Middleton. He's been putting up some pretty decent numbers. He has had some off nights, a little inconsistency, but for the most part, he's been coming through with what, like 25 points-ish a game. Like, he's stepped up on the offensive end. So what Drew Holiday are we going to get? I think he has the chance to be the most impactful player and really be the catalyst for whether or not they're going to win or lose this series. But I'm going Bucks.
And how many
healthy Giannis? Gosh, they don't really like to make it easy. I mean, the Hawks took them to 6 games, for crying out loud. So
this is going the distance.
I guess I have to say 7. I want to say 6 for some reason, but
That's
maybe because I don't think I see the Bucks winning on the road but I don't know. They beat Brooklyn in game 7 in overtime.
at home.
I know, but I'm going Bucks. I'm going 7 games.
Okay.
Giannis, MVP.
I respect your decision, even though I disagree with it. Well, what's that theory, or what's that scientific, theory, Justin, that says, the theory that requires more like improbable outcomes is likely, the poorer theory. So whatever I'm referring to me, the point that I'm trying to make is more things have to go right for the Bucks to win this series than for the Suns, because of how many times we've said, if Giannis can be healthy, when your star player is coming off of a gruesome hyperextended knee, my confidence is pretty low right now in having a healthy Giannis. So
I respect it.
Yeah. But it's going to be a hype series. And on that note, we'll let people get to the game. I did want to make 2 shout outs here. 2 shout outs to some big folks following the pod, following the intrigue, following the story. And that's KG, my man, Mr. Griswold, following us on Twitter, giving us all sorts
yes, sir.
about the Sixers, trusting the process, giving me crap. I love it. Keep it coming.
Next time you talk to him, ask him how Embiid's doing.
Okay.
Ask him if he still has a Ben Simmons jersey.
And then my other shout out is for a good friend, Ty Manuel, for following the series and calling out the haters and reminding me to stay positive and not fall into these false, hateful narratives that are plaguing the media right now, going into what's going to be some great basketball. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Game 1 tipping off in just a few moments.
Right now.
Thanks for joining us.
Donnie
Find us on Twitter or Instagram at Taco Ball Tuesday. Nope. And as always, yo quiero taco ball.
Yo quiero
taco ball Tuesday.
Let's get it.